Thanks for listening to Fluff and Crunch, where we talk about the connection and sometimes disconnect between system, setting, and story in tabletop RPGs. And there we go. I'm recording. How have you been this last week?
Yeah, very good. Other than not having a car, but yeah.
Say what?
My car's been broken.
Oh.
And I thought it'd be a quick fix. In the garage, have had it since last Friday. And I only just got it back.
Oh.
That's it limited what I can do somewhat. So we're really just kind of sitting around the house going, oh
well. All right.
How about you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Winding down the 5e campaign we played last Saturday, made more progress, discovered some things. So we're definitely on that, like the downward accelerating slope of action and activity. So we'll probably, I can't be solid on this, but I'm going to guess that done by the end of the month. So we'll see what goes with that. How about you?
No, I didn't do any gaming because, again, Brian's so busy at work that he hasn't been able to do any, and we won't be doing any this week either.
Oh.
And then next week we're all away, so it seems like, yeah. I'm glad that I finished my thing because I've had time, but yeah, I'm glad that I finished it because I knew we'd have problems.
Well, then today's really handy because we're going to make characters for our co-op Star Trek Adventures Captain's Log. We're not going to take the solo route, but you could.
Yep.
Sit around by yourself. Oh, you have dice. Oh
yeah. I've got a really number. I've got 3 red and then 2 yellow and 2 blue. So I'm thinking the start, like I bought a set which had 3 command and then some D6s, and then I think I just bought randomly at like off the Modiphius stall some yellows and blues just to have 2 of each. But I have 3 reds, so it's a bit weird. Anyway, I have some actual stuff.
I bought mine individually years ago when they had a sale, and I have 2 red, 2 blue, and 1 yellow to represent the smaller number of command officers. I probably thought that at the time.
Well, that's why because command is red.
But not for.
Yeah, for me it is.
Original series, that's where my roots are.
But there's only one original series, so there's way more things where command is red.
That's true. True statement. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to work through this thing. After we talked with Jim 2 weeks ago, we dropped the review yesterday, and now we're going to go ahead and make some characters so we can play co-op. I'm looking at the life path, which is on page 92 of the PDF, but I think there are some decisions we probably should make before that. Or should we? Should we decide on, should we make the characters and then just say, all Star Trek characters are to a certain extent kind of generic for where you wedge them in? Or do we want to choose an era?
Well, there's actually there's a random species by error table, which means there is a random error table.
The problem, though, with the random era table is that you could roll 1 through 6, and that would be
we could re-roll that. At which point we're really just flipping a coin.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I don't actually have any dice in hand, so I'm gonna have you from many thousands of miles away on the opposite side of the planet. You're gonna roll dice for us.
Okay.
How high tech? That's really cool. So, okay, just for kicks, let's go ahead and roll a random era and see if it pleases us.
So, as in, it's not 1 to 6.
Hit it.
15.
Woo! Next generation. Okay, I can live. I'll go ahead and take notes that we're TNG era, which is a broad time frame. That's about what 15, 20 years ish, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we go later, but not too late? I always think the easiest one is just after the end of the Dominion War. Because I think if you go essentially any time period you pick during Deep Space Nine, there's stuff happening. But if you go before that, you're okay. And if you go after that, you're okay. But I think during that period, you've kind of got this issue of there's stuff going on. But then after that, we
Okay.
know that nothing really happens until other stuff happens.
What if okay, so I would be totally fine with that. We just nail down and a little side note, I think you and I will probably organically discuss some of the rules at some points here, but our focus is not to teach the rules so much as actually just use them and work through
Yeah.
them. So, um, what about like Enterprise C era? Because technically it says here the next generation era is from 2300 to 2401. So it is a 1 century period of time. So it includes a significant chunk of the lost years. Would
We
you
could do
want to?
that because, yeah. So when's Enterprise C?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I know that it's before the beginning of next generation. So we're
Let's look
talking
at
like the mid to early 2300s, maybe like the 2330s or 2340s. Well, Next Generation season 1 supposedly starts in 2364. So I don't think the Enterprise C immediately preceded that, but it's
Nope.
sometime. Why don't we just pluck a year? Why don't we go with like 2351? No,
Yep, sounds good. Yeah, we can do that.
2341.
Okay.
2341. 2341.
20.
So that's 23 years before the beginning of Next Gen. That puts us
Yeah.
far enough out that we can make up things and not feel beholden to. Okay, so we have a year, 2341. Let's do this. Let's roll on each table and then decide whether or not we're happy with the results.
Yeah.
We'll either run with the results or be inspired by the results to ignore them.
Oh God, we're not doing white. All right, we're going to go 51.
We are?
I found multiple things that said the color changed in the 2050s. According to
Okay.
something I've just found, the color for the 2340s and the 20 was white. Now that's just weird.
Okay, so we'll go with 2351. That's
There
13 years before Next Gen starts. So
It might be no Enterprise.
who knows? All right, cool. Let's go ahead and have you roll. Let's roll my species just for kicks.
Okay. 5. Nope.
No, changeling ain't gonna happen.
Nope. 15. Parrot. What's that?
A paradigm,
And that's why I have Google open so I can look them
gamma
up.
quadrant. Nope,
Doing
that's
well
a
there.
that's a gamma quadrant species.
10. Kazon. That's
No.
from Voyager.
You know what? Let me
Let's
just say this. Let me just say this
let's
about Kazon.
let's let's
Kazon
just
are
go to the original series table.
Kazon are Klingons on meth. They are meth Klingons. That's totally what they
I'm
are.
switching to the original series
Go
table
for it, because
because
those were
at
lame.
least we know these all. 8. Deltan. Oh, this isn't getting better.
Yeah, I mean the whole like
Yeah, bald person.
sexy pheromones thing, I'm not all that hip to play. One
Well,
more.
if we went next generation, you're just human.
Give me one roll on the toss one just for kicks, and then I'll just be a
Okay.
human.
13. Kelpian. Yeah.
No. You know what? I'm going to be an Afrosian. I'm going to be an Afrosian. That is 10 off the original series. The Afrosians, if you remember I think it was the
I do not
navigator or
remember.
the
Type
helmsman
it
of the
in.
USS Saratoga, which was a Reliant or a Miranda class ship that was disabled by the space probe in Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home. Was an Afrosian.
Why do they kind of look like Vulcan, like Klingons? They
Well,
look
they have
like
kind of ridgy things, but then he had like the cool big frosted hair.
Okay.
Very 80s. All right, so I'm an Afrosian. How about you?
Okay.
Let me write that down.
I'll try this. Just look at this next gen table. Seems to be almost all things that we can't have. So yeah, I'm gonna have to stick with the original series table.
You know what's odd?
Well,
I'm looking at the character sheet right here, and I have the 1.1 version. There's is there where's speed?
would
There's
they
no
be? Do
species.
they count as a trait though?
I guess. Okay, sure, fine.
No,
Okay.
I've rolled Horta. That's just a blob. I'm not being a blob.
You don't
This
want
is
to be a
going
blob?
really well. No, I don't want to be a blob. 15. I don't just so many races. I don't know what these are.
I don't even know what that is. An
It's
Osnil?
not even a picture.
Osnil?
Right, I'm just doing what you did, and I'm going to pick a race. I'm going to go for a Cation because I want to be a cat person.
Okay. Good deal. All right,
Uh,
your Cation. Rock on.
I feel like I feel like they count as traits, so I'm just going to write it as a trait.
That's what I did. Okay, so go ahead and record your increases. I get +1 to fitness. Remember, our attributes all start at 7. Our disciplines all start at 1. +1
Right,
fitness.
I'm gonna write those on.
Presence. Reason.
My character sheet's going to be in such a mess. Should have
Well,
printed
I'm
two.
using this thing called paper, and then I'm going
Yeah,
to
so am I.
transfer it
I've got a
neatly to the
character sheet.
PDF.
But what I'm going to do is make a mess of this character sheet, and then I may or may not write them on the next one. All right, so I start with 7 on everything.
Correct.
But I just got 1 more daring, and 1 more fitness,
All right.
and 1 more insight.
All right. Well, I got 1 more fitness, 1 more presence, and 1 more reason. I'm a musical people from a frozen world devoted to history.
I'm a cat-like people devoted to martial as well as artistic and philosophical pursuits, solidly established within the Federation, with extensive representation at all levels in Starfleet until Next Generation, when they disappear until lower decks come out because cat people are problematic to put on TV. But they can do it really easy in animation.
Yes, they can.
Bipedal, slightly smaller than humans with prehensile tails. Ooh, do I get that as a trait? No, it comes under Cation, doesn't it?
Cation's supposed to just cover that.
Step 2, environment.
Environment.
Okay. We might actually be able to start being okay with these roles now.
I can live with that. So in choosing character's environment, you choose either setting or conditions. So setting's more concrete, whereas conditions is more descriptive, like the idea of like, oh, you come from a busy colony versus a cosmopolitan world. You come from a background of rigorous discipline, that would be a condition, versus a frontier colony.
I didn't realize that was an or. Okay. Well, you pick one and I'll roll on the other one.
Okay, cool. Which one do you want?
I don't care, so you pick.
I will take settings. I'll take a setting. You can have a condition. Go ahead and roll. Tell me what I got.
Settings. 17.
What is that? Starship or starbase. All right, that's cool. I come from a setting of a starship or a starbase. I gain a value, and
there is a random value table.
Ooh, goody goody. Oh, I get to choose control or insight.
Page 90. Page 90 has a random values matrix. Oh, do you want me to roll on it since I'm on it?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a value. Tell me what I got.
10. Never leave a stone unturned.
Okay. Oh, I like that.
That's a good Starfleet one. All right, I'm going to roll for my condition. 17. Ooh, struggle and hardship.
What does that give you?
I don't know. I'm just writing it down for struggle.
Well, it gives you get to add 1 to either control, daring, or insight.
For one reason, your world was one with few available resources. Oh, nightmare. And I'll need to overwrite. Right. Control, daring, or insight. Which one's which? I can't even think what they're used for.
Control is focus and being able to push away distractions and stay
daring
focused.
It is.
All right, so use daring. All right, and then you also get to add 1 to either con, engineering, or science. I added 1 to engineering, just not that we have to, but just FYI.
I think I might go con. I don't feel very sciencey.
Okay.
So I'm going to go con. So my con is now 2. All right, and I will also roll on the random value table. 19. Oh, damn it. Willing to sacrifice myself to save my crew. This could be a short-lived character.
Okay. So moving on now, step 3, we're going to go to early outlook, which consists of upbringing. Hit it.
Select your upbringing. Okay, I will roll for your upbringing.
Yep.
Oh, I got the Star Trek symbol, which, just to check, is a 1, because I was just checking, is that a 1 or a 20? It's a 1. So Starfleet.
So mine is Starfleet. That makes sense.
So you were
I accept. Yeah. If I accept that upbringing, because remember, with just like Star Trek Adventures, you either accept or you neglect, you reject. I'm going to go ahead and accept it.
Yeah, it makes sense because your character is raised on a starship. So
right. If a character accepts this upbringing, the orderly, purposeful life increases their control by 2 and their fitness by 1. Fit plus 1.
Character is either Weatherly Crusher or
Stop
Jake.
now.
He could be Jake Sisko.
I get to increase 1 discipline. I've increased engineering by 1. I'm going to increase security.
And you get a focus. 1. All right, let's have a look at mine.
Ooh, my first focus.
Wow, it's either Starfleet or there's no other kind of military one at all. 11. Ugh, I was trying to avoid it, but I've got science and technology. My character's home, the one that was really difficult, struggle and hardship, was one filled with the potential of science and cutting edge developments with familiar ground. That feels like that makes 0 sense.
Now, let me ask you this. What are you... We're rolling mostly randomly, but what is your vision for this character in terms of department? Do you have an idea like, oh, I'd like my cat person to be a blah?
I mean, just not your... Well, it doesn't matter either way, because we've only got 2 characters, whether we were both engineers or neither wouldn't really matter. So at the moment, no. But having grown up in this really difficult, horrible to live world, science just seems a bit odd. Well, engineer could still work.
Here's because I'm kind of thinking engineer. But we'll see how it works out. That was my vision coming in, not so much the science, but I was thinking chief engineer. But we'll see how it works out. I need a focus.
Do I want to then avoid being an engineer or go, screw it, we could both be engineers?
I think you should avoid being an engineer, because then we can be department heads on a starship and we can do things.
Well, maybe because I was just on the picture, which actually has my science technology thing, is the front covers for all the books. And that's a Cation dude who looks pretty rough and like he's had a hard life.
Yeah.
But he's in blue. So
maybe,
he is a scientist.
Do you have a choice with condition to accept or reject?
Okay, I see what you mean. Right. No. Oh, no, I have. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, that's upbringing. Sorry. That's
this upbringing. Yeah. If your character rebelled against this upbringing, they don't lack for technical talent, but they haven't developed it instead. Right. So then,
that's
upbringing.
That's upbringing. That has nothing to do with your rough and tumble,
No, but that's better then, because that makes more, to me, that makes more sense. The whole idea that my family is scientists, I feel like, maybe they were scientists and then they died in some horrible thing. And I've gone, no, science is terrible. I'm going to be action cat.
You could be security cat.
Exactly, I could be security cat. So I'm going to rebel against this upbringing.
Good deal.
So my daring goes up by another 1. Ooh.
And I need a focus. I'll think while you do that.
My insight is up to 9. Oh, no, my insight goes up by 2. Oh, look, I've hit 10s already on 2 stats. Your character's familiarity with cutting-edge science and latest research allows to increase one of their con, engineering, science, or medicine. I am going to stick 1 in medicine because that might be useful. Just
okay.
Backup. Focuses.
Was that your focus?
No, that was my discipline.
Okay.
So focused. Astronavigation, computer, cybernetics, genetics, physics, power systems.
I chose small equipment technology, like little things like phasers and tricorders and like little portable pieces of equipment. I'm thinking like fixing things. He's kind of like he's handy.
I'm gonna just roll. I'm gonna roll on the medicine focus.
Ooh, good idea.
There's a table. 19. Oh no, wait a minute. I'm gonna try again because it turns out it's a 2d20 roll. I'm gonna have to add numbers together. Wow, I actually got lower than my previous one. Genetics, which is what I was thinking of doing anyway. Okay, well, I might end up being a scientist after all.
Or a doctor.
So I can be an action scientist, just like in Atomic Robo.
Action doctor.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we move to step 4. We move to education.
Oh, yeah. Skip the casts.
Skip cast because we're not Klingons.
So aspirations. Is that where we are?
That was that's one of the 3 options. You have either upbringing or cast if you're Klingon, or aspirations.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, we skipped aspirations.
Skip aspirations.
Oh, I should have done aspiration instead of.
We'll swap it out.
I'm gonna, because I can.
Your aspirations to get off your crappy homeworld.
Yes.
Fair enough.
After it was weird science.
Just don't be like Ishari Yar and do so at the expense of others.
All right. So didn't realize that. Where am I? Aspirations. Okay, cool. 15 to protect. That matches with my value, so that's
Oh yeah.
fine.
It's almost like the thing knows.
This is early outlook, wasn't it? Because I've gone back to because I'd never written down, so that's handy. To protect. My daring goes up by 2, and your fitness by 1. Awesome.
I'm sensing a security officer here.
Yeah. No, I pursued this aspiration. Right, security or medicine by 1, so security obs. Focus. Emergency medicine, hand-to-hand combat, hand phases, survivor. I'm thinking survival.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense for my character and the planet they're on. And yeah, so I'm going to go with survival. So I'm going to be like an expert at surviving on horrible planets
Because you're from one.
because I'm from one where everything was out to kill you, like
Yep.
Australia. Okay,
Actually, you
education.
know what? I don't know if you were just saying saying that offhand, but that would be an interesting approach is that instead of your hard upbringing coming from some kind of like political or civil war strife, it's environmental. Nature ain't nice.
Yeah. All
Okay,
right. So, I
education.
mean, if I get anything other than 1 to 5, this is going to shaft your
Well,
character.
we're Starfleet. I'm gonna push aside the random table and I'm choosing Starfleet.
Yeah, see, I'm going to roll to see what I get,
Okay.
and then unless I get one of
And
the
then you're gonna
top
choose
10,
Starfleet
I'm
anyway.
gonna well, because if I had allied military training, I would go with that. That I was like, signed up as like a mercenary or something. That's fine. I don't want diplomatic training or civilian, but I'm
No.
going to roll for mine just to see what I get. Yeah, I got 20. So what's under civilian training out of interest? Okay, I'm just going to roll again, see what I get, see if it works. 3, freight and transport. Well, if that had been a 4, I'd have law enforcement, which would be working. No, I don't think there is law enforcement in my thing. So let's just screw it and come all the way back and just do Starfleet.
Yeah, I think Starfleet makes most sense for what we're envisioning right here. And I'm going to push aside the track, command, operations, or sciences, and I'm just choosing ops.
I'm going to be ops as well, then, aren't I? Because I'm clearly going security. So
Yep. We both get to sit around in our gold uniform tops.
not
Okay,
entirely
attribute.
sure how I ended up getting, but I finally got off this death planet and was recruited into Starfleet. Cheers, Starfleet dudes. Add a value. Oh, no, wrong one. Add a value. Right, let's
You do add
roll.
a value, but let's roll that for fun
I'm rolling
in a
it. So
moment.
I'm
But
going to
I'm going
roll
to take care of the
yours.
disciplines and focuses. You get 3 points to attributes.
I've just rolled your value. Do you want to know what it is? It's super
Yeah, go
cheesy.
ahead.
We are all connected despite being worlds apart.
That sounds like that sounds like something you'd see on some motivational poster in an office with like a picture of an eagle flying across a lake at dawn or some crap like that.
No, it'd have to be like a bunch of swans in a V
Or
formation.
a bunch of hands
Yeah.
of like yeah, holding what did that say? We're all
We are all connected despite being worlds apart. I can roll it again. It was terrible.
hit it. It's not terrible. It's just
It's pretty bad. 10. Oh, it's the same as last one. You'll never leave a stone unturned. I guess you need to stick with your we're all connected then. Hippie.
we're all connected.
Despite being worlds apart. Because you're apparently now a
Actually,
species.
that sounds like a Phil Collins song. You
I got
know?
11. Oh, yes. Push me too far and you'll see my ugly side. Perfect.
You got some mange on your back, so you turn around, look at my ugly all nasty fur.
Nope, too far. Operations. All right, add 3 points to attributes may split between any two. Oh, so I can just add 3 to anything.
You can add up to 2 to 1 and 1 to another, or 3 or 1 to 3.
Disciplines increase either security or engineering by 2. So security. What's the
Yeah.
highest our security can go to?
4. Well, the highest it's 6, 5, 6. Anyway, you can't go above 4 right now,
Well, that's
which
fine because I'm
my
on 4 now.
engineering is maxed out at 4 right
Yeah,
now, and
mine's
then
on
I
my
added 1 to
security's 4.
command and 1 to con.
I'm going to add 1. I'm going to put 1 on medicine so I can patch people up. Don't want science, don't want engineering. I guess I'm putting 1 on command as well then. Select 3 focuses. Well, I'm going to go hand phases because it'd be a bit weird at this point if I can't use it.
I went with warp drive, weapons technology, and transporters. I decided to maybe while this guy was at Starfleet Academy, he like really focused on.
There's a whole bunch of. I'm going to roll on the security one to see what I get, but I'll
Yeah.
probably roll on command because I think that's more useful. Right. So 16 fleet formations. No, what would I get? Same actually. Field medic. I am going to take field medic because that is perfect. That is the reason
I
I
thought
wanted
you had
medicine.
taken a. I thought you'd taken a focus that had to do with medicine before.
I did, but that was when I was doing the science thing, and then we realized I
Oh.
hadn't done the aspirations, so that went.
Okay.
Field medic is perfect. That is exactly what I want.
Okay.
So that's spot on. So yeah,
Right.
otherwise I would have looked on the command thing. Oh, that's almost it then, isn't it? We've just got career length.
I'm happy with just choosing.
Yep.
I'm going to go with experienced.
Yep, that works.
How about a value? Are you on those tables?
No, but I can go to yeah, add a value. We're going to run out. There's only 20 values, so we're going to run out of values quickly. I will roll you a value.
Well, we have 4 of them total, so we would go through 40% of them between the two of us.
Move, but 19. Okay, that's the one I've got. Willing to sacrifice myself to save my crew.
I'm willing to sacrifice you to save the crew too.
I've got crew comes first, which you could have, which is similar to what I just rolled, but is not the same.
Okay, crew comes first. I can live with that. Like he's like real team oriented.
Yeah, just super huggy guy. 14. Sensors can't tell you everything. Oh, that seems spot on for my character because it would be all into their own sensors and none of this computer shit.
Right. So what you're saying is your Cation is not going to turn to the 24th century version of ChatGPT and just say, "Well, what am I supposed to do?" No.
Everybody else will be using their tricores, and I'll be like,
right,
licking the ground,
and then like your hair stands up on your back and that kind of thing. You start walking around like this, hunched up.
All right, career events. How many of these do we get then?
We get 2.
2. All right, come on. Rolling for Jeremy. Get a 1.
Right on. Hit it.
Get a 1. Come on. Yes.
I got a 1.
I got a 1.
Excellent. I'm okay with ship destroyed. Ship destroyed. I'll have no. I'm gonna. I will.
So happy.
Daring +1.
Oh, I didn't get 1.
And I get security +1. I will think up the story side of it. What was the ship's mission and what was going on? I'll think that up later. And I add
I rolled solved an engineering crisis, which makes no sense. So, and then I rolled it again. Maybe you can have solved an engineering crisis as your second one.
Okay.
Because I
added, so I got to add 1 to my daring, 1 to security, choose a focus, which I went with leadership. That sounds good. And so wait, you said what was it?
I rolled solved an engineering crisis twice. So the dice gods really want one of us to have it, and it makes no sense to me.
I will solve the engineering crisis.
I rolled dealing with a plague. So since my character's like kick-ass man on the ground, that sounds fine.
Yes, it does. You know what? Maybe you dealt with a zombie plague. They don't have those, like legit zombie plague on some planet, and you're like, drilling these things in the forehead.
What was the disease that was running rampant? Oh, it actually asks that as a question. Okay, it was a zombie plague. What planet was affecting? I don't know. They're all dead.
There you go.
It's now one of there's a big red floating hologram.
It's Streplet 4.
I added 1 directly with the sick. Yeah, I killed a ton of zombies.
Control and 1 to engineering for my engineering crisis.
Right, I get insight by 1, which if I get any more increase to insight, I can't fit it on. 10. And then my medicine's now up to 3.
Let me ask you this. We both need to choose a focus based on our second career or on a career event. What do you think for solving an engineering crisis?
What does it have?
I mean, it says things like electroplasma power systems, fusion reactors, warp engine. I've already got warp drive. I've got transport.
Should I roll? Do you want me to roll on the engineering focus table?
Yeah.
And then you can tell me what page I was on so I can get back quicker. 37? Oh, seriously? It's transporters. You already got it.
Right,
then troubleshooting is 1 away from that, though.
I'm going to take that.
All right. Let's flick back through here.
That sounds wildly flexible.
So I have emergency medicine, infectious diseases, or triage. I actually think infectious diseases
Yeah.
is quite good.
That's perfect. It's crazy how once you start even rolling from the random tables and you start establishing a narrative that goes
Yeah.
with it, how each subsequent thing, for the most part here, they've made sense, especially for yours.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I know how to deal with infectious diseases, headshots,
There you go.
when
When you know what though,
chainsaws.
when you shoot the zombie in the forehead with the phasers at night, their eyes and their ears glow red for a split second. It's very exciting. Okay.
Right, let's roll my second career event.
Yeah.
I also got a 1.
Maybe we were on the same ship. Maybe we destroyed it. Who knows?
Well, if my character's a little bit younger, then oh no, would I be? It doesn't matter. But yeah, we could both be on the same ship. I would have dealt with a plague, and then we were on a ship that was destroyed. So at least that's how we know each other. So we were on the same ship that was destroyed.
Or we sit around and we struck up a friendship because they're like, hey, I destroyed a ship too.
So you destroyed the ship.
No, shh.
What was it? Was it something routine that went horribly wrong? Well, when do we make peace with the Klingons?
You know, here's what I'm thinking. With the fluffy, fuzzy, wuzzy stuff, the story side of these, let's think about these. And then in the next episode, when
Oh yeah,
we make more things, we can share back these
I mean,
things.
my daring's gone. Oh no, sorry. It says increase my security by 1, but I can't. And likewise, yours must have said increase your engineering by 1, but you can't. So what did you do?
No, engineering, I believe. Wait a minute here.
Because it was already on 4 after education, and it would have gone to 5.
Yeah. I'm not seeing a limit on your disciplines from this step. There was a limit on the previous step, but not on this one. And if I don't see it, I'm walking through the door.
Yeah, sure. I'll have security 5 and daring 12.
Hey, I can live with it.
Oh, I've gone too far now. Right. Blah, blah, blah. Add a focus, reflect their experience. Extra vehicle operations. Oh, yeah, that sounds.
Yeah.
Not convinced my
Well,
character wouldn't be scared of going extra vehicle. Feel like my character would not actually like to be out in space. They're like a land person. So I think I'm going to go back and roll on security focus, see what I get.
I like it.
Another 1 and a 4. 5. Chemical and biological weapons. Ugh. No, that doesn't fit either. 19. Hazardous environments. Perfect. That also brings me all the way back to how I started. Have you got 6 focuses? I've got 6 focuses.
I don't know. I have done a horrible job of keeping it spread across a bunch
It's
of
because
pieces.
I'm writing it on the character sheets, and all of my
haven't.
stuff's in the right place.
The only thing I've written on the character sheet is my species as a trait. So I have organizational catch up to do. Let's do this though. Let's as an idea. Let's hit finishing touches.
We get another value. Jesus.
Are you on finish step 7? Or are you on your career event still?
No, I'm looking at the finishing touches.
Okay, so we get one more value.
Okay, I will go back to the table. 13. Seeking to find myself far from home. You're such a hippie.
No, I don't want that.
And then I rolled it again.
If you roll it one more time, I'll take it.
I'll take that. It's fine.
Okay.
Because that is partly true. I have left the thing. All right. And we've already had that twice. 10. We've already had that. 7. I can make something from nothing.
Done.
You're now MacGyver. You're less hippie, and actually MacGyver was pretty hippie-ish, so still a hippie.
My dad has an awesome set of tools. I can fix it. I can fix it. It's Jeff Spicoli.
All right. Increase 2 attributes by 1. May not have any attributes above 12. Well, I've already got 1 on 12.
And disciplines are capped at 5, so I'm okay with my engineering is 5.
So 2 attributes.
But I need to go through and fix this. I am not going to unfortunately be able to read back to you my character right now because it's a mess.
Increase 2 disciplines by 1 each.
Yep.
Do I really want to leave science and engineering on 1?
I know my medicine is at 1, so I'm going to have to. I'm not going to have to, but I think I'm going to increase that.
And I don't. Yeah, my engineering on 1's fine. You've got engineering. My medicine's on 3, but I could put that out to 4. But I feel three's pretty good. Although my reason is diabolical. So actually, yeah, I'm gonna put my medicine up to 4.
You're all impulse. Impulse
Uh,
and you're like, I'm
yeah,
very wise. I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to add. I have my
just take
4 values.
Yeah, I have
One.
4 values. I have 6 focuses, and I assume my other stats correct. So
I
I
have
have.
my focuses. I have my values. My stats and my disciplines are a mess right now, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to go
I
through
was just
this.
I deliberately was writing everything to the side of the little boxes, and then I just wrote the wrong stat in it. So
Oh,
I have a control of 7. So clearly my big fluffy hands are not very good at controlling stuff. Daring of 12, fitness of 11, insight of 10, presence of 9, and a reason of 7. So I have 2 stats on garbage 7, but then I have a 12. And I have command 3, con 2, security 5, engineering 1, science 1, but medicine 4. So as long as I don't have to use a tricorder, I'm fine. Actually, it's pretty much anything I could possibly use my medicine with is going to be bad. So I know my medicine, but unfortunately, other than that, I'm terrible.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna need to go. I in this episode, I will have to at the beginning of our next episode go back and read off my numbers because they're a mess. I
Now we
did
need to
not
do a
keep track.
starship as well.
All right. So, are you thinking like the tactical, security and tactical officer?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And I'm thinking chief engineer.
But I'm probably thinking like my character's got a specific rule of like planetary stuff, like away team commander kind of thing. Like every time someone goes on an away team, that's my guy.
So, are you
Because
thinking more like security rather than like starship weapons?
yes, I think I'll
Um,
be ready to repel borders and go down onto planets, because on a planet I'm fine. I have survival,
right.
I have hazardous things, I'm a field medic. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe you're more, and I know, per canon, whatever. There were the Makos. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't think that there are Starfleet Marines anymore, but
Yeah, I'd be close to that.
maybe you're more like that.
When the thing is, in the programs, whenever there's an away team, the away team is made up exclusively of like the characters from the
Yeah.
program, because that made sense, and then people that were going to die.
Yes.
So in this, anytime there's an away team, my character is on that away team unless it's like diplomacy. But if there's any risk at all, then I'm there to protect everybody else on the mission.
Yeah.
I'm like the bodyguard.
Let's do this because I need to clean up my numbers and put this together, and we've both got some like story things that we need to decide for our characters. Let's do Starship. Let's clean that up. Report back. Hey, this is my character's name, rank, assignment, and then we can start the next episode with that, and then create the starship, and then lay out the rest of the foundation for the co-op campaign we're going to play.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much for listening. You can visit our show's homepage at anchor.fm/Fluff and Crunch. That's FLUFFNCRUNCH. We would really appreciate feedback and reviews on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to this on. Thanks so much.